As I mentioned in the beginning of the course, there's 4 hard things that we have to do to have love in our lives. So even after you understand the things I've talked about, we still have some big challenges ahead of us to actually do it. If we didn't have these challenges ahead of us, we would have done it already. We wouldn't have needed any of that information if we didn't have these huge challenges ahead of us. But because we have those huge challenges ahead of us, and a lot of those challenges create a lot of confusions in our mind, more confusions in our heart, we needed to have a good definition of love to work with as we work through these challenges. Okay? Because without that definition of love, without a working definition of love, then these challenges will rule our lives and we won't have any way to get through this maze of obstacles that are in front of us. Okay? So the first hard thing is we have to fully acknowledge, 100% acknowledge that we're responsible for the love we have in our lives. Okay? That's really, really important. If we don't take full responsibility for something, we have no power to change anything. But if you realize, wow, I've been doing this to myself the whole time, you realize, wow, I can do something else to myself the whole time. Okay? Also, it's also true that you're 100% responsible for the love you have in your life, or the love you don't have in your life. Now, we're not consciously responsible, but our conscious mind is just a little part of the equation of the choices we're making here. Okay? It's our subconscious mind that's making a lot of the changes. And we have to, as we go through life, we have to heal the trauma in our subconscious mind, the pain, the wounds. And we have to show our subconscious mind that, hey, you no longer have to do this. You don't have to protect me anymore. You don't have to go after these kind of situations. We really have to retrain the subconscious mind until it goes, okay, I got you. I'll make decisions based on something else now. Okay? The problem is, as we're going through life, if we don't have something to kind of keep us in line, as in all these guidelines I've talked about in this course so far, then we keep getting into experiences where the subconscious gets proven right. Meaning we keep getting into painful experiences that the subconscious is trying to protect us from in the first place. And so the subconscious is going, yep, I have to keep playing this game to protect myself. I have to keep playing this game I've been playing because this last relationship proved once again that this is how love doesn't work for me or whatever. Okay? So by having some guidelines to follow, we can start having experiences where the subconscious mind goes, okay, I can relax here. I don't have to be cold. I don't have to be distant. I don't have to get overly aggressive. We start getting these experiences where the subconscious mind can relax and not ruin our lives by trying to protect us. Okay? The things the subconscious mind is doing, it's doing those things to protect us and to increase our chances of survival and to increase our feeling of well-being when we were children. Okay? And we get in the subconscious does that and it continues to do that, but as adults, we're in different situations. We create more conflicts as a result. We have more problems in our life and the subconscious feels validated and keeps on. So the point I'm making is we really need to start having better experiences as a part of the healing process and having a guideline to follow so that we choose as best we can healthier experiences can help us get those experiences. Okay? That's one thing we need to do. The other thing is we have to go into our psyches and we have to heal the wounds that are there. So if the subconsciousness releases its hold on us, okay? A wounded animal acts very, very differently than a happy animal. Okay, so Going up to a wounded bear, really bad idea. Going up to a bear that's not wounded, bring him a candy bar. It might not even be that bad of an idea, But you're not supposed to feed the wildlife, so don't do that anyway. But the very difference, you never should approach a wounded animal. But when we're the same way, wounded humans are going to lash out, cut themselves off, run, and sabotage their relationships. So we need to go inside and heal our wounds through really actively pursuing our psychological health so that the subconsciousness isn't driving us really in some kind of panic state, which is basically a wounded animal state, okay? In that state, just like an animal, the animal might freeze, it might just try to run away, it might attack. It's not going to do anything that really is going to help you in a relationship. Because in a relationship, your goal is to be together with someone, right? And these subconscious reactions always do the opposite. So if you're not having love in your life, it's not because you said, oh yeah, I've decided to ruin my life and have no love in it by choosing this, this, and this. That's not how it's working. Your conscious mind didn't make the decision. It's your subconscious mind that was thinking, I'm attracted to this, and I'm going to behave this way, I'm going to respond this way, and it's ways that get in the way of your relationship working, okay? Now, every relationship, they're saying, well begun is half done. And that applies to everything. It applies to relationships too. We begin a relationship when we choose a person. That's the beginning. Unfortunately, not a lot of that is a conscious decision either. A lot of that is an unconscious decision. Okay? And the stronger the unconsciousness is involved in our relationship choices, the more powerful the attraction is going to be. Because there's no force inside of you that has much power to yank you and put you here or there as your subconscious mind. So, when you meet someone that you're really, really drawn to, and you're saying, oh, like that person, there's a reason your subconsciousness is pulling you there. And it's rarely for the reasons of working love, as in committable, sustainable love. Okay? It might be, but it's usually not. That's why so many relationships that are based on that attraction don't fail. Okay? Because our subconsciousness has a desperate need to make up for the lost love of our early childhood. Even if we had great parents in lots of ways, our parents were not perfect beings. So in some respect, they didn't love us. In some respect, we couldn't find a way to love them, to make them happy, to make them appreciative of us. And so everyone is walking around with an element of lost love from their childhood. Some people, it's just this much. Other people, it's miles. Okay? It depends on how your path is beginning for you to evolve and grow in this lifetime. Okay? If it was, if it was more lost love versus less lost love, it doesn't mean you're worse or better. It just means your path needed to start with you having those experiences, your path of evolution and growth. Okay? So, we try to make up for this lost love. The subconscious is eager to do that because growing up, the child wants to be in the most secure, the most safe, the most loving environment. So it's desperate for all the love that can be achieved there. But there's always a way. The parents are not perfect. Okay, the minute you take the sky, which is perfect, the heavens, the ecliptic is a perfect path that is a symbol of the divine, and you drop the planets into it, those planets create imperfections. And there's no possible way to put the planets up in the heavens in a way that's perfect. So we're all imperfect beings. And so we have imperfect love, and we're going to love our children imperfectly, and our parents loved us imperfectly. But our subconsciousness, though, it still wants to make up for that lost love. So it's going to be drawn to the types of people, the same types of people like our parents, who can't give us the love, that same love we couldn't get from the parent. Our subconscious wants that still. It wants it in the same people who can't give it. Okay? And it also wants to love and make the people happy, to have something similar to the thing in our parents where we couldn't love them and couldn't make them happy. And yes, our subconsciousness is also drawn, and we're drawn on a healthy emotional level, to people who have qualities we've seen in others that are workable, lovable qualities. Okay? That, especially from our parents. So good qualities of our parents, those feel good to have from the people we meet too. We will be drawn to that. But the subconsciousness is rushing for that lost love, because ultimately all of us here are searching for what's lost. We're not searching for what we've experienced. We're searching for what we don't have. We're searching for what we've lost. And it'll prompt us to find it out there, to find it in our relationship, and find it in that person who's a mirror of where we didn't get it from growing up. And those relationships are going to have problems. Okay? The more they're based on that, the greater the problems, which means the bigger your life was in lost love growing up, the stronger fatal attractions you're going to have. Okay, the stronger you're going to be pulled in. I have to love that person. I have to be with that person. And the more you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because that lost love is never going to be found in another person except on the secondary level. That lost love is the love you have to rediscover and provide to yourself. That lost respect, that care you want to give your parents, that is care you have to give to yourself. This shows us where we have to improve our relationship with ourselves. Our parents are not the cause of anything. Okay, they're not the cause of how we are. They're a symbol of how we are. It's like the planets. You have Jupiter in the first house, therefore Jupiter made you like this. No, that's not how it works. You have Jupiter in the first house, which symbolizes that you're like this. But you're like that because that's how you grew over who knows how many eons. Okay? Our parents are not responsible for anything. They're just a symbol of who we are. So when we study our relationship with our parents, it's a symbol. It's studying an omen, a symbol. The most close to home symbol of our relationship with ourselves. So if you say, well, my mom never thought I was smart, or my mom never thought I was attractive, or my mom always treated me like a klutz. Well, that means your relationship with yourself is, I don't really think you're attractive. You know, whatever you're blaming your parents for, that's your relationship with yourself. So we need to study that relationship with our parents in order to understand the relationship with ourselves. And a lot of this relationship is going on deep below the surface. That's why God has created a world of symbols to show us what's deep below the surface. Because just walking around, we don't know it. We need to pay attention to every omen out there. That's how we can discover our truth. Everything that's happening is a symbol of what we need to develop, do what's happening inside. And our parents are major symbols. So I talk a lot about, I want to know, what did your parents do to you? Or I'll say, I can see your parents did this. Let's study this symbol. You're not a victim of your parents. Your parents are just a symbol in your life. Okay? Same as you're not a victim of the planets are a symbol of you, at the beginning of you this lifetime. And they will also symbolize as you progress. So, these attractions, I'm going to call them fatal attractions because they don't give you what you're expecting, are the subconscious trying to make up for that lost love. And that feels like what we call love, to some degree. Now, in a person who only had a little bit of lost love, that feels like just sort of love, just some love. But the people who are missing huge amounts of self-love, who had a lot of lost love growing up, it feels like such a powerful love. It has so much force. So this force is of different strengths in different people. And you'll see it with their friends. You're like, wow, it's the same kind of guy. It's just this one's short. It's just this one's Italian. This one's French. This one's like this. And they're like going, you do this all the time. You do this. I mean, I have women come as clients and they're like, yeah, I'd fight with my girlfriend and, I told her about this new guy and she just walked away from me and said, I'm sick of hearing this. It's the same story over and over again. And she's like, but it's not. And it's like, well, maybe it is. Sometimes it actually is. We have our patterns, and it's easy for our friends to say it. They're like, oh, here comes the same thing. She's doing it to herself. He's doing it to himself again. But we're sort of oblivious to it. So we got to wake up and start paying attention to what we're drawing in. And this is really where really learning to read the omens of everything can be so helpful. We look at their faces, look at our parents' faces, look at their charts, look at our parents' charts. Look at their facial expressions, their physical mannerisms. Compare that to our parents. Find the connections and see where they're symbols of your of the lost love you had in your life. Okay? So, to heal this and to have to be able to choose love that works, we're going against this subconsciousness that oftentimes wants to choose love that doesn't work. If you had relationships that haven't worked, because those are the ones your subconscious chose. So you're 100% responsible. But no, you're not 100% consciously responsible. Okay? Our job is to get 100% consciously responsible. So that means, okay, defining love. Now let me experience that love. Let me appreciate that love. Let me get used to seeing this as love. Instead of, love is when I beg someone to love them by being their slave and being the perfect little son that takes mommy's trash out every day and still she won't smile at me. Okay? That could be our definition of love. Okay? And it can come in so many unique flavors, this definition of love. Let me be attracted to a guy that only cares about sex because my mom or my dad abused me, and the only time my dad paid attention to me was when he was having sex with me. So let me find a guy who only cares about sex, and that's the guy I want to really truly love me in an emotional, caring way. That's the kind of choices we make. Okay? So, we need to start experiencing healthier love. So we need to analyze every relationship we had, see where was there healthy love? Where was there love that was useful to who you really are? Where was there love that healed you? Where was the love that helped you move forward in your life? Okay, what did that feel like? We need to actually start going, wow, this is actually what love's supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to feel like being ignored until I make a mistake and then my parents finally look at me and whip me. Okay, that's not what love is supposed to feel like, but we might think it is. And so we choose abusive relationships. Okay? This is the kind of games we call love. So, we have to seek out these experiences. And those healthy experiences can start healing the subconsciousness and retraining it. So the subconsciousness is this thing that gets trained through experience. Okay? The depth of an experience is the most significant thing as far as it impacts our subconsciousness. And after that is the repetition of an experience. With our parents, we usually had some very deep and repetitive experiences. So those have left really deep marks in how our subconscious is operating, what our subconscious is doing, how it's trying to protect us, and how it's trying to, and where it's trying to make up for something. Okay? So, we have to get in touch with that force. We have to start appreciating the force of the subconsciousness and making choices for us. And then we have to start healing it. That's the most important thing to do. Because if you don't heal it, it'll be making choices. You can learn everything in this course and say, all right, I'm going to find what love is, and I'm going to be there, And you're like, wow, this is kind of, wow, my life's getting better and I feel about myself. And who's that guy? And you just want this guy that your subconsciousness is saying, this is a not love guy that you think is love. And your subconscious is going to want to pull you right out of that good experience. You know? Or you can have a relationship with a guy or a girl who's loving, who's kind, who's great. And your subconsciousness will go, wow, this is not love. Let me play a game here that turns this into something ugly, which is what I call love. Because this person actually sees me, wants to be there for me. But my definition of love is somebody who is distant and withdrawn from me. So let me do something that will push them into that distant place, so I can feel like I have the love that I call love. And so then the person shuts down and gets back to their comfort zone of, yeah, this is love, to shut down people. The games are endless that we might play. Everyone needs to start getting attuned to the behaviors they're doing that they don't really want to do, their subconscious, unconscious behaviors, and start healing those parts. Now, it's the healing that's important. And the way we heal is by developing a healthier relationship with ourselves. Because that lost love we can have it in the world. And having it in the world comes easily. But it comes easily as step 2, as the second part. The first part is the part we have to handle. And that is the part of having a healthier relationship with ourselves. It's when our subconsciousness starts to love ourselves more because we've healed it. We have a healthy relationship where the symbols of our parents are no longer the symbols of the relationship with ourselves. Where the symbols of our past bad relationships are no longer symbols of the relationship with ourselves. Where we have a new relationship of love with ourselves. And as soon as that happens, step 2 shows up. Which is, oh wow, now that's being mirrored. A working love is being mirrored in my life compared to the non-working love that I've been having in various forms. Okay? So the only way to get the working love in a way that you won't sabotage it or appreciate it is to heal your wounds. Okay? So everyone needs to get busy with that. My favorite tools for that are the Lajitadya Vastas. I have 2 huge courses on those. I also have a Healing Rahu and Ketu course, which also follows this theme because the Rahu, Ketu, the north and south nodes in our chart, have such an influence over everything I'm talking about here. If we can get in touch with those things, we can make a lot of progress. I mean, literally miracles can happen. I had one woman who was taking the Rahu Ketu course who had a rough life. She was married away at 15 because her mom was poor, her dad had died. She was married off to someone in another country of her same, religion, same, one of those cultural religions that does arranged marriages, to a wealthy family. And everything should have been okay. She was just 15, didn't have a clue about what she wanted in life, of course. And unfortunately, and mom was just, wow, I want to be involved with the rich family. We need some money here. I'm sick of struggling so hard since dad died. And so mom married her off just so she would get money. Well, that family never really gave mom money. The family turned out to be a really selfish family. The man turned out to have a temper and used to scream and yell and throw things and hit the girl sometimes. And she ended up having 2 or 3 kids with him. I can't remember right now. She's going to text me and say, how could you forget? I'm sorry that I forgot if it was 2 or 3. But she, went through and she was said, her voice was, I'm always going to do the right thing. I'm always going to do the right thing. I'm always going to do the right thing. And she took my Rahu Ketu course, and she realized that she had a pathology of always doing the right thing, even when it wasn't good for her. And she said, okay, I'm not going to do that. My marriage is not healthy for me. It's an abusive relationship. There's times She's hiding in the bedroom with the kids when the husband comes home drunk. He doesn't want to stop drinking. He's not into any type of thing. She's trying to heal. She's into astrology. She wants to be a loving parent to her mothers. And this is her situation. She's like, it doesn't matter if I look bad. I'm willing to look bad. This situation is not workable. It's not healthy. Where she was like, oh, I have to look good. Her pathology was, I have to look good. I have to look good. I have to look like a good person. No matter how much suffering I get, I have to be a good person. Bullshit. So she realized that for her was actually a pathology. And the miracle of the story was, shortly after that, she had an argument with her husband. And they were Muslim. And her husband said, "You're not my wife." And he said it 3 times. Well, according to Muslim law, if a man says, "You're not my wife" 3 times, it's an official divorce. It's like, all right, you're not married anymore. That moment, marriage is over. And so he never wanted her gone, But he said that, and somehow he said that, and when he realized he said it, he was like, uh-oh. And she was like, okay, we're over. And he had no power. He wanted to get her back, but he felt if he did try to get her back, he would go to, I don't know, do Muslims have hell? He would not be, doing good by his religion, because he had, according to the religious code, if he says that 3 times, it's over. So boom. See how easy things can work sometimes when you heal this thing inside yourself. We all have many, many little keys like that we have to turn. And every time we unlock and turn one of those keys, and unlock a part of ourselves that allows ourselves to actually care about us more. To actually care about, wow, I'm in a shitty situation. I'm getting abused. I'm scared. I'm in a dangerous situation, but at least I'm looking good. No, care about yourself. That's a healthier relationship. When we make these changes, instantly things on the outside change. It's like so fast. It's always within a lunar month, like within 28 days that some miracle seems to happen. Okay? So, realize the importance of making these shifts. So I have those 3 courses that I really like to recommend. I also like to recommend a great book by Lise Bourbeau called Discovering, I'm going to put it in the link below. Discovering Your True Self is part of the title. It's a long title. This is a great book because it tells you how to use the omen, the symbol of your body, to help you get in touch with what some of your wounds are. So, as we become aware that we are wounded animals and we take the steps for ourselves to heal our wounds, at that point we get to choose what really is right for you. But the same way a wounded animal doesn't get to choose how it's going to lash out, we don't really get to choose what we get in life when the wounds are alive and active and hurting us all the time. We're really making choices out of a painful, wounded state instead of a healthy, operable state. And we're making life decisions based on this state. And so no wonder so many lives don't work out. We have to learn to make our decisions from a point of health, and we can't do that until we heal these wounds. And then it's the part of you that can make healthy choices that make your life move forward that gets to make the choices. So, we're 100% responsible, but that doesn't mean we just get to, I'm not going to pick this, I'm going to pick this. We have to heal our wounds, we have to heal our relationship with ourselves. We might have to go through years and years of self-developmental work, but it's the only way. Now, some of us need a lot of this, some people don't need a little lot. People who need the most are the astrologers, the psychologists, those are the people who need it the most. They're spending their whole lives immersed in this, okay? Because there's so much work for them to do. Another person just needs one little key turned, and then they're going to be relatively healthy. So, the important thing is that you get busy with it, however long it takes. It's the solution to all your problems, okay? And it really comes down, you're 100% responsible, but do you want to be the operable part being responsible? Or do you want the wounded subconsciousness to make the choices for you? And it can't make good choices. It's just going to make choices that get you right back into trouble. And we literally get stuck. It's like As humans, we have so many circuits, so many ways we can be at any moment. We have choices to be any way we want at any moment. Animals don't really have that choice. You know, a dog gets to act like a dog, a cat like a cat, a monkey like a monkey. They all have their classical ways of how they survive, how they get through life, and all of them do it the same way. Humans, we could mimic any animal at any moment. Like, you know, in Kung Fu, they've got snake Kung Fu and dragon Kung Fu and mantis Kung Fu and drunken Kung Fu. You know, it's this idea that humans can mimic the way an animal does something as the situation merits. So we can embrace the spirit of an eagle at this moment and a bear in this moment, and through that actually get ourselves into different states of behavior, working with the forces, the power of the animals as what they symbolize and represent. Us humans, we have access to the whole gamut, okay? But the problem is, we get stuck in a circuit. And we think that circuit's the only way to live. And so instead of being a human who can live it any way possible, at any moment according to the situation, to have the most joy and love in the situation, we get stuck in a very limited experience over and over again, like a one-track experience. Same situation. I feel love, I run. 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 Over and over again, our whole lives, you know? I feel love, I sell my soul. I feel love, I sacrifice myself. I feel love, I sacrifice myself. Neither of those is a good way to live. Sometimes when we feel love, we need to make a sacrifice. Sometimes when we feel love, we need to step back. There's times you need to really step back from the partner you love. You know? It's like we're not animals where there's one or two equations that works in everything. Every moment we have access to a different force. But we get stuck in these forces, and then we only see that force, and we only chase the relationship that creates that pattern in our life. And when we start healing the wounds, we become adaptable, the adaptable creatures we're meant to be. We're in different situations, we can behave in different ways in order to create the most love, and the most love possible. And this is not, it's a natural way of humans to be, but it's very hard because we get stuck. And healing our wounds, healing our subconscious, gets us unstuck to be able to make any situation work. Some situations we need to be aggressive, some passive, but what about the person who's always aggressive? Well then, when it's time to be aggressive, it's working. But all the times it's not good to be aggressive, it's not working. Every situation we have the ability to harmonize with. And getting stuck in our wounds prevents us from harmonizing. There are situations we have to take control, right? And there are situations where we let someone else take control. We all have control freaks that we know, right? People have to be in control in every situation. And you see how it doesn't work, right? There are some of us who, there's situations to run from. There's certain things to just run from. But a lot of people run from every situation, which means a lot of situations they're running from where they shouldn't be running from. Okay? These are the things we do to ourselves when we let our subconsciousness, the wounded animal in us, run the show. We're going to have a lopsided life as a result. The only part of our life that's going to work if we run from everything is the parts that need us to run. Okay? And if we, make ourselves dependent on something, and we make ourselves dependent on everything, then the only part of our life that's going to work is the part that requires dependency. And the rest of our life will be in a shambles. This is why we live unbalanced lives, okay? And healing our wounds, according to these courses I told you in that book, can go a long way to get you started on this. And it's a long journey. And it's never going to end. We keep journeying forward, but we make the biggest steps we can make in the beginning, because it's like anything else. There's the big things, and once handled, take us so far. And then after that, there's tons of little things that are like the details. And so we can progress forward our entire lives. It's those big breakthroughs that we are urgently in need of making that we have to focus on right now. And our ability to choose love that works is really largely dependent on our ability to heal these parts of ourselves. There's lots of great systems out there to heal this. It's really, there's so many great systems. So realize that all of us have different limitations based upon how much we have to heal. And look at your past. If you've had a series of relationships that have all been unfilling in all ways, then okay, you really need a big breakthrough. If relationships have been pretty good, just a few things not working out, all right, good. You just have some small minor breakthroughs to go through. So everyone's different. And the beautiful part is that one of the most beautiful things about life, I think, is making a breakthrough. You know, making a breakthrough can feel like you're just born again. Like you're born with all this energy and all this life, but you're not a baby. You've still got your faculties with you. And it's a really beautiful experience to have huge breakthroughs. And those courses I mentioned, the people who take the courses, they're really like huge courses on astrology, but you're learning all about yourself through it. People regularly have breakthroughs through those courses. And then there's so many other methods out there, I said. So look for the method that will work for you to have your breakthroughs that you need in the healing so that you can start being the king who governs your life instead of the subconsciousness governing your life. Okay? And then pick the right relationships that are love instead of a relationship that's not love. All right. Enough on that topic. Thank you.